We had to pick a sperm donor, which literally feels like Tinder, like looking at the profiles and everything, seeing all the characteristics. Someone actually messaged us on DM saying, I saw Leah throw up in the bin. I was going to say hi, but I felt too bad. We came home to your mum and my mum, and they met Oakley for the first time, and I'm not going to have that. The nurse said to me, are you the aunt? And I'm like, no, I'm the mum as well.
So bad.
Oh, I just got a vision. I don't think you're going to want me to say.
No info is too much info.
I remember you would do it to your mum.
Oh, right, that is too much info. Okay.
Hey guys, and welcome to our brand new podcast, The 3 AM Club, with me, Caitlin.
And me, Leah.
We'll be talking everything about our relationship and parenting and everything that comes along with that.
Pooey nappies.
Couple fights.
Screaming toddlers.
And sleepless nights. So you're going to hear all about our parenting adventures, the good, the bad, and the mad, as we become parents of 2.
And we'll also bring some amazing guests along for the ride.
We want to hear all about your parenting tips and hacks, funny stories, couple fails, and questions on our segment, The Midnight Mail. So welcome to the 3 AM Club. Hey guys, welcome to the 3 AM Club with me, Caitlin.
And me, Leah.
I just wanted to come now.
I know you do. You say it like 10 times a day.
I know, it's TMI, but like literally, I feel like she's just trying to come out. Like the pain down there is like... It feels like a bowling ball constantly wanting to just come out, and I'm like, just come now.
I know. Can you believe like what a long journey we've gone through from preparing for IVF, doing IVF, falling pregnant, and now literally being towards the end of the pregnancy.
The way that we got pregnant is not the way everybody gets pregnant. We did Reciprocal IVF, which is, in case you guys don't know, we did my egg for Oakley, and Leah carried Oakley and gave birth to him. So for IVF, you have to go through picking a donor, because obviously we're a same-sex couple. We had to pick a sperm donor, which it literally feels like Tinder, like looking at the profiles and everything, seeing all the characteristics. Yeah, you can see what their eye colour is, hair colour, ethnicity, where they're from in the world. Like there's so many things that you can look at. And
but even weird things that don't really matter, like what their handwriting looks like.
Yeah, you can see their handwriting.
Matter?
I don't know, and you can hear their voice as well, which is cool. For Oakley's donor, we did want to find someone that kind of looked like you. Didn't we?
Yeah,
like dark eyes,
work.
dark hair. Well, they kind of didn't work, no, because Oakley doesn't look... He's meant to be half Greek Cypriot. He does not look half Greek Cypriot at all.
He looks like you. He is a walking you.
He's blonde with like bluey green eyes. But we just wanted to find somebody as well that was like... seemed like a good person.
So what we really looked for were like the colour eyes, the colour hair, and if they had a friendly face.
Yeah.
And obviously you get all their like medical history. That was very important to make sure that like their mum or dad had good health.
And I really do feel like though, listening to their voice and like when you listen to their voice, they're telling you why they became a donor. The donors that we chose seemed like they were doing it for the right reasons and like really genuinely just wanted to help people start family.
It's very true. I remember hearing Lila's donor.
You cried.
I cried because it just seemed so genuine. Like he seemed so nice and he genuinely wanted to do it to help other people.
It was so sweet. And then when we chose Lila's donor, because Oakley ended up just looking like me, we were going to choose a donor again that had very similar characteristics to Oakley's donors, like dark hair, dark eyes. But we couldn't find one that looked very nice.
One option I didn't mind, you thought looked like my dad. Well, actually, first of all, you're like, oh no, not him. And then your next breath, he looks like your dad.
It wasn't that one. It was not that one. It was this completely different man that looked like your dad. But you always think I was talking about that donor, but it wasn't. I genuinely think he looked creepy.
Yeah, but you did say he looked like my dad.
No, it wasn't him. But he doesn't look like your dad.
Look a little bit like my dad.
Oh, so you think he looks like your dad?
Well, he looks like my genetics.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the whole point. So that's a good thing.
But anyway, we chose Lila's donor.
Yes, we did.
Completely different to what we thought we were looking for.
Actually, God's honest truth, Lila's donor looks like Oakley and looks like you.
Yeah.
So I've got no hope.
Well, he's blonde hair, blue eyes, Danish. It literally looks like he would be Oakley's donor because I feel like Oakley actually looks kind of Danish. With his blonde hair and everything.
His donor.
No, he doesn't. He literally looks... Like, we've compared the photos and, like, There's
No.
nothing there that maybe when he's older he will.
Yeah,
Maybe. But it'll be so interesting to see what baby girl looks like.
I feel like from the scan pictures, I can't see myself.
I feel like she has your nose, but she does look like the donor, which...
She does look like the donor.
I did want her to look like a mini you. That would have been so cute. And she might come out looking like a mini you. I hope she does.
I know it's not really that important, but I feel like it's always nice to like just have a mini you. Like,
you always say that to me. You're like, when you look at Oakley, do you feel like so happy that it's just a mini you? But when I look at him, I don't see myself at all.
Oh my gosh, when you're both like, when you're feeding him and I can see you from like the side profile, it's like crazy.
Oh, that's so cute. Bless him.
It is really cute. It's going to be really interesting to see what she looks like. Let's make guesses.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then we can always come back and see if we're right. I'll go first.
Okay.
She'll be born with dark hair and then it will turn to dark blonde.
So you like Oakley?
Yes, but I think she'll actually have brown eyes.
Ooh. I'm going to say she's going to have brown hair and hazel eyes. Just to be different.
And how much do you think she'll weigh?
I think she will be £6.10.
6'8".
Very close.
So obviously, baby girl is going to be here any minute. And you know what I think is going to be really funny to talk about? The weird things people have said to us, because we have had loads, but not only just from being two girls, but also we are young parents.
Are we young though?
Well, we look very, very young.
We do look young.
I look 19, I'm guessing. You look like...
So you're 28, turning 29 this year.
Can you believe I'm 28? I don't look 28.
I don't think you do, but then I feel like I've lost grasp of like how old we look now.
Yeah. We get the weirdest questions and the weirdest assumptions.
People always assume we're sisters. The other day with Oakley, the nurse said to me, "Are you the aunt?" And I'm like, "No, I'm the mum as well."
So bad.
Although it's kind of makes us feel uncomfortable, you can tell how uncomfortable they feel and how guilty they feel when they say it, and it like makes me think, oh, it's okay. Like I understand it's hard to know, but I guess we don't look like the typical mum, dad.
What did that woman say to you? Because you were so upset. She was saying something about a donor.
What are your kids gonna call you both? And I said, well, at the moment we both just go by mummy, like whatever. And she was like, is that not going to be really confusing to have two mums? And I just thought, why would you say that? Like, that's so
I can't excuse
close-minded. And then she was asking about the donors, like, do they have? But she didn't call them donors. Do they have the same dad?
Oh no, that is my. Do you know what? When people say that to me, sometimes it's just because that person isn't educated. Probably more than likely, but it really does grate on me. More so because it's going to confuse our kids when they grow up.
Yeah, that is what upsets me because. Obviously, Oakley and Lila will know they have two mums. And then if somebody, like even family members do it by accident, they call the donor the dad. Yeah. And then I just think, what's Oakley and Lila going to think? Are they going to think, like, do I have a dad that's not here? Yeah. Like, they're going to be really confused.
If people are confusing them, then it's our job really to be like, no, like that's your donor. You've got two mums. And obviously when they're 18... we will be more than happy if they want to like explore who their donor is. Like we will support that.
I honestly, like if they came to us and said, like I really want to find out about my donor and the donor's family and like my genetics and everything, I would be so happy to help them. Like it would not upset me or anything. No. Like I would really be so happy to help them. But I just feel like the donor has donated the sperm not because they want to be part of the kid's life. They've done it of like the kindness of their heart and like because they want to help other families. They've not done it because they want the parental responsibility of having the child. So and I feel like I wish people understood that. It is crazy to think of like the whole journey that we've gone through with both of our kids because it's not the typical journey, is it? We didn't just, try for a baby and fell pregnant or whatever. Before we went through IVF, we had no idea what it entailed.
No idea. Even
when you look online, I feel like there's not really much out there for two girls going through it. But yeah, we went through the egg retrieval. So I did the egg retrieval first, and that was an experience. When you have an egg retrieval, you basically go through like 7 to 14 days or something of taking injections and medication to prepare your body to make lots of eggs because you don't just do one. And then you go in for an operation to retrieve the eggs. And normally for this operation, you're meant to have anaesthesia, be asleep, like feel no pain, be fine. But I have a heart condition, and I actually told the clinic that we were with about my heart condition and everything, and they knew about it. And then we got there on the day for the egg retrieval.
Oh, this makes me feel so
And they
emotional.
were being really kind of like strange about it. So the anaesthesiologist came in and she was asking me about my heart condition. I was like, yeah, I told them. And she was kind of acting really weird. And we were thinking, what is going on? And then they come in and tell us, no, sorry, you can't have the operation because we didn't know about your heart condition and the anaesthesiologist is too scared to give you any medication. They took us out of the waiting room and brought us into the manager's office and said to us, we're so sorry you can't go through with it and you probably can never have an egg retrieval at our clinic because of your heart. And then I said, is there absolutely nothing we can do? And they said, it's not really done in this country, but we could do the egg retrieval whilst you're awake and have no anaesthesia. And to do the egg retrieval, they basically, you have your legs up in stirrups, you're in an operating room, and they put this really long needle through your vaginal walls into your ovaries, take out the eggs, and they do it on one side and then the other, and it is very painful. And they said to me, we don't recommend you do it, but that is your only option. And then Leah was like, no, Caitlin, you can't do this. Don't do this.
I was begging you not to do it. I was so scared. You are so headstrong and determined. You were like, no, I'm doing this.
I just didn't want to go through all of that to just go home with nothing. So I just said, I'm going to try it.
The head doctor got every single person that was free, receptionists.
Yeah, I don't know why they all came in, but they all came in for support.
There was 10 of us in that room.
It was excruciating pain, but I'm so glad we did it.
Well, if you didn't do it, we wouldn't have Oakley.
I know.
And what a story to tell Oakley when he's older.
It's over with now. We have our gorgeous son and...
You got 9 embryos and Oakley was one of them.
Yep, Oakley was one of them. And then I think it was maybe a month later, we did a transfer into Leah and we were so lucky. It took first time. So many people have to go through loads of rounds of IVF to get pregnant. And I just feel so, I keep saying lucky, but I do feel so lucky and grateful that we managed to do it and it worked for us first time. We did go through quite a lot during our IVF journey and pregnancy that we never spoke about. So my mum has had different medical conditions since I was younger, and she's been really unwell, and she was doing really well for a good few years. But then probably a few months before Leah fell pregnant, she started suffering with things called laryngospasms, which is basically where your throat just cuts off and you can't breathe for 30 to 60 seconds. And then you're supposed to be able to breathe again and be fine. But when you were 7 weeks pregnant, my mum had a laryngospasm and it didn't stop. It didn't go back to normal and she passed out. And I actually had to give her CPR, which was it was very traumatic. But you were there as well.
I remember the day literally like it was yesterday.
Thankfully, she went to hospital and they managed to make sure she was okay and stuff at that point. She was in
hospital for quite a while,
I think it was 2 weeks at that point, but she was in ICU, on ventilators and stuff for a while. But it was really awful because obviously you being 7 weeks pregnant, we were worried about the baby as well because of all the stress.
But then after that, we had so many things in place, didn't we? So that obviously, hopefully it wouldn't happen again, and your mum saw people that really specialise in laryngospasm, and we sort of got back on track with the pregnancy and everything seemed to be getting a bit better. Obviously your anxiety, your mental health wasn't the best.
It definitely took a downhill turn. And I felt so guilty because I felt my mental health was kind of ruining the pregnancy because it was such a happy time, and the pregnancy with Oakley was so happy. We had so many amazing memories, but I did feel because of that whole situation and my anxiety and focus on my mum, it did.
But that's completely understandable. Literally months and months later after Oakley was born, I think it was 6 months in, we started our IVF journey again.
We did that whole process again, the whole IVF process again, but switched. And I feel very privileged that we were able to do it the way that we did, because when we first got together, we genuinely thought there was no way that we'd be able to have kids.
Yeah, because unfortunately it costs so much money, and that shouldn't be the case.
So much money. I think they are making changes on the NHS.
I hope so.
That I think 2 girl couples have more of an option to do IVF, I think, it's still, I think that's still very, very like limited.
Yeah,
And
what about like other couples?
There really isn't much choice out there, and I really wish that there was a way that we could just like make a change and make it available for everybody, because we know how special it was for us to be able to do it the way that we did. Like for me to carry your biological child and you to carry my biological child.
Because I feel like having kids shouldn't be a privilege, really.
No,
it shouldn't.
It should be something that everyone is able to do if they want to do it.
So we had the transfer with Lila.
The way we did the transfer with Lila was very different to the way we did it with you.
Oh, with the HCG.
Yeah, so Leah didn't use something called a trigger shot, which is something you take to like force your body to ovulate, and then they implant the egg like at like the right time of when you've ovulated, so it kind of matches up and your body is prepared for pregnancy.
Very confusing.
The trigger shot contains HCG, which is what shows up a positive pregnancy test.
Yes.
So we didn't know if I took a pregnancy test after if I was pregnant or not. So we took the pregnancy test like every day to see
if the line was going down.
If the line was disappearing, and then hopefully would then get darker again with a pregnancy. So we decided we're not going to tell our parents if I'm pregnant or not, because we were so unsure.
We didn't want to
ourselves.
get their hopes up.
We didn't want to get their hopes up. And I was really worried about my mum, like telling my mum and then how that could affect her health if it went wrong. So I didn't tell my mum about the pregnancy. And then I remember speaking to her. It was on the 7th of August. I was on FaceTime. I was on FaceTime with her in the evening, and she said to me, like, I think you're pregnant. Like, are you pregnant? And I said to her, I don't know. I haven't tested. Like, I just completely lied and pretended I hadn't tested. And I wish I had just told her, because I had planned the next day that I was probably going to tell her that I was pregnant.
Making me emotional.
Sorry. I don't know why I'm laughing.
You always cry when you like talk about this, because it's just so sad, but she knew.
It's such an emotional thing, but it's weird because we're so different, because I like cry in private and Leo cries.
I actually can't help it.
No, although I like get sad, I don't cry in front of people, so I just kind of
I know. So what happened?
So I like had this whole plan of how we were going to tell my mum. I was going to go into her flat, and then I was going to get you to hide around the corner with like a little what's it called, bodysuit, like we're pregnant, and like plant it in her room and like film the whole thing and tell her. And I was literally thinking like we could do that the next day, because at this point the tests were a little bit darker, and I was like, maybe we can tell her, but that obviously didn't work out.
Caitlin's mum was in ICU again for Lila's pregnancy, and at this point you were all over the place. You were not ready to see your mum, because everyone said to you, do not see her, she's wired up, she doesn't look like your mum at all.
No, at this point we knew though that she wasn't going to make it. Like we were told that she wasn't going to make it, so I was too scared to go in. My 2 aunts actually went in for me to be there with her. They kept her on a ventilator for like 2 days, because they had to do tests and stuff to check that it was like confirmed. I gave my aunt Mary a pregnancy test to bring in with her, because I never got to tell her, so I just wanted to somehow like let her know. So she went in and she put the pregnancy test in my mum's hand, and Mary phoned me and said, like, I've done it, I've put the pregnancy test in your mum's hand, like, do you want to say anything to her? So I obviously said like some things to her and said that I'm pregnant and stuff. And then after that phone call, which was obviously really hard, Leah was like, take a pregnancy test now, take another one.
I just was trying to distract you. I did not think anything would have changed.
Like, I took the test straight after the phone call, and it came out so dark straight away.
It was literally the difference within a few hours. Yeah. And then from that moment, I knew that this pregnancy would be fine, because your mum gave you Lila because she knew that was how you would cope. I honestly believe that, and I believe that your mum's been unwell your whole life and she's never let go, and now she has, because you've got your family and your kids.
It happened at this exact time. She knew I can't do anything about it. Like, I've got you, I've got Oakley, I'm pregnant. It's like the one time in life that like she knew I was settled and safe and like okay.
100%.
I wish so much that she could be here and meet Lila, and like although I know everyone says like she sent her, or like she sent her and like she knows about her, but what's really upsetting me is like when we came home from the hospital with Oakley, we came home to your mum and my mum, and they met Oakley for the first time, and I'm not going to have that. You're going to make me cry, but I'm laughing instead.
Because I know if you're crying, it's bad.
You know I'm going to cry, but I'm like holding it in.
Yeah, I know, but I know that your mum's watching the whole way. I tell you this, she'll be so proud of you, because if she saw how strong you're being, and if you were ever not strong, she would be bloody shouting from up there. You should be like, Caitlin, pull yourself together. I did not bring you up like this.
Anyway, hopefully she'll be here soon.
She will be
Lila
here soon.
will be here soon, and it will be, our family will be complete.
Yeah. So, what advice would we give to other people, maybe just starting their IVF journey? So right at the beginning.
I think, like, try not to have as many expectations that it's just going to go smoothly, because it's an emotional roller coaster. There's so many ups and downs in, I think, everyone's IVF journey.
Yeah.
Don't expect that you're just going to go into it and like it's going to be fine, and like obviously I hope it will be fine for you, but I mean, like, just be prepared.
My tip is make sure that the clinic isn't too far away from your home if you can, because going back to what we said earlier, it is very like on time. Everything has to be at a certain time.
There are points where you literally have to go in either every day or every 2 days.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure that it's near you. I think that is a really good tip. And also, there's a lot of hidden costs.
A lot of hidden costs. If they
We
tell
were
you,
shocked.
yeah. Like, I think they told us it was X amount, and it ended up being probably like £4,000 more.
Yeah, because they don't tell you like the medications you have to take. They don't add that into the price.
And how long you have to be on the medications for, because
No.
everyone's different.
Everyone is different.
You
and
were
for
on
both
yours
of us,
for longer. I was on mine
Yeah.
for shorter. But
and also everyone has a different medication, and I feel like they do like to give you the most expensive ones as well, which is
well, our clinic
not the best. So
Yeah.
if you're able to, try and save a little bit more just in case, because you probably will have to spend more.
So, not IVF now, pregnancy. I want to know, what have been your favourite things about pregnancy?
Okay, so my favourite thing has to be feeling her move.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the kicks and everything. Now she's got to the point where she kind of just wiggles more than kicks because she doesn't have as much room, but the kicks and the movements is just, how would you describe the feeling?
A bouncy ball, just like, it's weird.
At the beginning, it does kind of feel like wind. Like if you have wind
at the
bubbles,
very beginning,
it does feel a
yeah.
bit like that.
And symptom-wise, what is the thing you've hated? I know this answer. We say it on the count of three. It's
Okay,
obvious.
go on. 1, 2, 3.
Being sick.
I don't know why I didn't say it.
Okay, pretend you didn't hear it. 3.
That's what I was going to say, but for some reason I just froze and didn't say anything. But that was it. Being sick.
Being sick.
I absolutely hated that. And just the pains and stuff that
Yeah.
come with it. People don't really show the side of it where you're being sick, you're tired, you look like absolute rubbish, like you're
You never look
swelling.
like rubbish, though.
I feel like I do.
It's probably annoying hearing that, because you probably feel it on the inside, but
I do. Like just
You're
all the body
glowing.
changes. Thank you, but I don't feel like it. But yeah, so what was your favourite thing about being pregnant?
when I had Oakley in my belly, I didn't feel anxious because I knew he was with me. So I think it was the fact that I always had him with me, and I just felt like I had company.
That's
So
so
silly,
cute.
but that was my favourite part. My worst part was probably the time I threw up. That
You
was
threw up
embarrassing.
in McDonald's drive-thru, and then you felt bad, so you went in and asked, could you clean it up? And then
Wagamamas.
yeah, and you threw up. We got off of the airplane from our honeymoon. You threw
yeah.
up in a bin, and then someone actually messaged us on DM saying, I saw Leah throw up in the bin. I was going to say hi, but I felt too bad. Right, so now is the time that we are going to go into our segment, Midnight Mail, where we hear from you, our lovely viewers.
And remember, you guys can get in touch too at the 3am Club podcast. Remember, no info is too much info. We want to know everything. Your funny stories, parenting hacks, and you can always ask us questions too.
So the first one said, I accidentally shot my breast milk into my sister's eye. Not exactly parenting, but lol.
I never used to do that by accident. I used to do that on purpose.
Oh, I just got a vision. I don't think you're going to want me to say.
No info is too much info. Go on.
I remember you would do it to your mum.
Oh, right, that is too much info. Okay, stopping that.
You said no info is too much info.
I forgot about that. I'm so weird. I'm actually so weird.
I feel like this is quite a common thing though with breastfeeding women that people don't know. But like when you get a bit like engorged and have too much milk, your body will just spray it. It will just come out. And that used to happen to Leah a lot, but
Yeah.
she thought it was funny to deliberately do it to other people.
I purposely did that. Not just to my wife, obviously to my mum too.
I actually have videos of yours.
Yeah, but we're not
spraying.
going to include
We're
that.
not going to include that. I think that's too far.
I'll see them after though. Okay, so Ellen, you're probably going to laugh. How do you find the energy to be intimate with your partner after a busy day with the baby?
If you find the answer, you can let us know.
Because I mean, I don't think we've actually been intimate since like
very long time.
Months.
We're just so exhausted. We just do not have. We do literally. We're so busy with Oakley, work, everything. I feel like we have not, like, we just don't give each other the time anymore.
We don't. When we go into bed, well,
we just,
actually it's me really. When I get into bed, I fall asleep the minute my head hits the pillow.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not spoken about enough. It is really hard. Like, your relationship does change. And I know it's so stupid to say, but it's harder to find the time.
It is harder to find the time. And then also being pregnant as well. Like,
yeah.
Like, for the first, 4 months of pregnancy, I would not want you to come near me because I would just felt so sick.
And then at the end of the pregnancy, it's like, Lila's in there and like, I don't want her to like kick.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It would
like,
just be,
like, yeah. It's hard.
It is really hard. So I'm so sorry we don't actually have advice, but if any of the viewers down below could leave comments, anyone listening, just let us know what your advice would be, because we actually could do with some advice.
On board, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe in a few months though, because I don't think we're going to have time for a while.
Right, so last question.
So Annika said, when my toddler peed in our bed at night, I was too tired to change the sheets. I put a towel on the pee and slept. I was just too tired to do anything.
Annika, that is me. That is me. Like, literally, that happened the other day. And I was like, just put a towel. I'm not changing the bed. I'm too tired. And you're like, no, we've got to change it.
When we had Oakley and he was a newborn, he would wee and poo and be sick in the middle of the night sometimes. And you just have to, you are too tired. You just have to just kind of put up with it and sleep in it. And I feel like it's okay to do that sometimes. If you're too tired, it's not the end of the world. You can have a shower when you wake up. And I feel like you shouldn't feel bad about that. What are you doing?
Well done.
Okay.
Proud of you for saying that.
Why?
Because it's good.
So we actually don't have any more time for your questions, but we absolutely love hearing from you guys. So make sure you write in to the 3am Club podcast over on Instagram. Okay, so we have spoken about so much in this episode. There have been a lot of ups and some downs as well.
Yeah.
I can't believe I shared the story about you spraying breast milk in your mum's face.
I will get you back on the next episode, don't you worry.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, like, parenting is such a roller coaster. Like, there's so many funny things to look back on, but also there's so much to learn on the way.
Definitely. We are all literally learning on the way. I feel like life, being in a relationship, being parents, you are literally just learning as you go along and kind of just winging it.
Yeah, but that's what makes it exciting. So guys, thank you so much for joining us for the 3am Club.
Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and listen and follow on Spotify or your podcast app of choice.
Feel free to like and leave a comment and also a really nice review.
And remember, you're part of the 3am Club too, so please get in touch with your parenting stories, your hacks, and all your questions. We have all new social channels for this podcast, so make sure to follow us at 3am Club Podcast on TikTok and Instagram.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.